is Jeetan. One of the things you can do is to build your capabilities in Agentforce is to get started with this Agentforce workshop. It's This is the link developer.salesforce.com/agentforce workshop getting started. And before you do that, you need to sign up for a Agentforce Developer Edition org, and you can use this link agentforce.co/agentforce.de. And once you have that, I have signed up for that developer edition org. So let me launch that. Yeah, this one. And then we follow the steps in this workshop. In the setup, you have to install the Coral Cloud. Like one thing, you want to make sure that you have Data Cloud in your developer edition org. You should also have you should also enable Einstein, and you can enable Einstein, turn on Einstein, and then you should also turn on Agent Force and default agent in your through your setup menu, and then go ahead and install the Coral Cloud Resorts package, and then import the sample data, and you should be able to be up and running with this. And if we go in the permission sets in the setup, permission sets, and if we look at we should have a Coral Cloud permission set, and we should assign the manage assignments, and then have the system administrator assigned to the Coral Cloud permission set. And then we dive into the Data Cloud. In the use case here is that we have a reservation and the guest data through CSV files in Amazon S3, and we have a contacts data in Salesforce. And what we are going to do, we are going to ingest reservation, guest, and contact data into Data Cloud and map that to the DMOs, standard DMOs like individual DMO, contact, the contact DMO, and we are going to also create a custom data model object for reservation. So if we do the exercise 1, we will use the data kit to create a contact data stream. And when I did that, when you'll do that, you will see that it's going to create a contact underscore home DLO, data lake object. And when the data stream runs successfully, you can then you will have the data in the data lake object, and then you will start to map it to the account contact DMO, the contact point address DMO, and the contact point email DMO, and the contact point phone DMO, and individual DMO, which is mentioned here as we review the mappings. we are mapping the contact DLO to 5 DMOs. So once we finish exercise 1, we should review these mappings. We can also use Data Explorer to see data lake object for to see our ingested data, which is right here, and then we have the do we see anything in the we can also look at some DMO data as well. But the important thing is that we have ingested the contact home DLO from through our data kit. Now in exercise 2 we set up the Amazon S3 connection, which is, if we go here in the setup, we will see data cloud, setup home, and if we look at here, we look at other connectors, and this is how you create the new connection. But I have created this connection following along this exercise 2 through Amazon S3, which shows here the Coral Cloud Resorts S3 connection. And when we follow this, once the connection is set up, we will go through exercise 3 and we will ingest the guest data through the CSV file into the S3 bucket into our guest category profile data stream. And then we again go back to data cloud here, and then see that okay, we have ingested the guest data stream, and the total records that got ingested were 939. So, and then we can go ahead and review like it says that once you have ingested, then you are mapping the guest data stream to individual DMO, contact point email DMO, individual and contact point email DMO. This is how the mapping from guest data lake object to DMO object looks like, and we can review that mapping here. We have mapped that, and once we have mapped that, we save and close. Then we can use again Data Explorer to first check that okay, we have the ingested data of 11 records, and then in data map model object we have individual DMO, and that's our DMO without the identity resolution rule set. So it should have some, like it should have like if I filter this on last name as Rodriguez, it is giving me 2 records, right? Because we haven't run the identity resolution rule set, which would be, let's follow along. So we saw that we have ingested the guest data, and then similarly we follow the steps, we are going to ingest the reservation data from the Amazon S3. But the difference here is that we are going to create a custom DMO, and this reservation data that we are ingesting in the configuration, we are going to mention that this as an engagement. And then we are also creating a custom data model object for reservation, and keeping the mappings, use the uh, automated mapper to map all the fields from the ingested TLO to the custom DMO. And let's make sure, and then we are also creating a relationship between the reservation DMO to the individual DMO with the many to one, that individual can have many reservations. So let's verify that. We go back to the data lake object. We have the category engagement for our data stream. Like first we have data stream here as reservation, which is here, and then we reviewed the mapping. It is mapped to the custom reservation DMO. So now we have a data lake object for reservation. We have a data model object for reservation, and we can, in the data explorer, we can see that, okay, if we go into data lake object, we see reservation, we have 24 records, and in the data model object we should have a reservation custom, yeah, so 22 records there as well. So far so good. Now we have ingested all the data, we have done the mappings to the data model objects. Now we have to create the unified profile. Now to create the unified profile, first we got to make sure that we are working with the individual Sophia Rodriguez. So we go to the, so we go to the data model object, we look at the individual DMO, and we see that we have two records, for Sophia Rodriguez, right, in the individual DMO. Now what we are going to do, we are going to create an identity resolution rule set, and rule set is going to do the fuzzy name match and normalized email to populate the unified individual DMO with only one record, right? So let's look at that identity resolution rule set, and we have created, we have the rule set here, and we have the, yeah, this is our fuzzy name and normalized email match rules, and then we have reconciliation rules based on where we want to pick up the field from the source. And once that rule set is run, then we should have a unified individual CCID object. One sec, if we go to data explorer again and we say unified individual CCID, and here we should have only one record for Sofia Rodriguez because our rule set has ran and it has, based on the match rules and the reconciliation rules, it has given only one record. And then if we can just look at the edit columns. We need the first name, we need the unified individual ID, and what else we need? Birthday once. So that's our unified individual record for Sofia Rodriguez. And we have done this exercise 5. Now what we need to do, we need to look up for the contact Sofia Rodriguez, and we should have a related list for reservations that gets populated from the data cloud, and it's a data cloud related list. That's a that's natively you can access the data cloud data, access the data from the data cloud and provide it as a related list on the natively into the Salesforce UI, which is quite nice. So let's just see if we go to Coral Cloud Resorts app. We look at a contact, look for Sofia Rodriguez. Yeah, so this is the related list that I data cloud related list that I added following this exercise 6. So I went into the setup here. Let me close this. I went into the setup here. I looked at the contact object, and in the data cloud related list I added this reservation data cloud related list. I created this new data cloud related list as reservation and then added that to the contact layout in the page layout over here. You see in the over here I added that, and then in page layouts created a dynamic related list, right? So if I on this page I went to the edit page, and this is where I have added the reservation related list and then added that filter as well so that it picks up the data. Otherwise the dynamic related list only the related list from the data cloud only shows the data from past 7 days. So we added this dynamic related list with the filter. And once we do that, we have this dynamic related list which is having the data reservations populated for Sophia Rodriguez from the data cloud DM objects from the data cloud the data coming from data cloud. So we finish this exercise 6 and then we'll get onto the optionals as we go along, but so far so good. Thank you so much for listening and watching. We'll check out the other videos.